Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Heidi from My Reading Life, and I am starting a new vlog. This is my 30 books in 30 days reading vlog. This is probably just part one because obviously I'm not gonna be able to do all 30 books in one vlog, but I thought it'd be fun. I think I did this last summer and just vlogged each of the books that I read as I tried to get to 30 books. I think I only got to 25 books last summer, so this is gonna be my attempt for a second time. This I am trying because I've been inspired by Greta, and I will link her video down below where she has announced her 30 in 30 challenge and gives some tips and tricks for how to complete a reading challenge of reading 30 books in 30 days. And I am going to be trying out a lot of her tricks. So I started on August 1. I only had one book that I was carrying over from the month of July, and that was my audio book. And I finished that book already. So one book down already. It is currently August the 2nd. And so the first book that I finished for the 30 in 30 days is Twisted by Emma Dabiri, I think is the name. I will put the picture up here. And this is a nonfiction book, basically an essay collection, I would say, where Emma discusses the history of black hair and why the importance of black hair, what it has meant culturally to the African diaspora, and what it basically means today to those folks, and how black hair has been used to discriminate against black people throughout history. I found it fascinating. It was so interesting. There was so many pieces to this that I just didn't know anything about, like how there were certain cultures in Africa historically that used different braiding techniques to create maps on people's heads, to create basically share information with the use of hair. It was just absolutely fascinating, things like that. And also enraging to hear how people have been discriminated against because of their hair. Another thing that I thought was so important from this book, that was something that was like a light bulb moment to me, was how the words used to describe black hair are very often pejorative, whereas the words used to describe white hair are very favorable. So for example, white hair is often described as silky or smooth or shining, whereas black hair is described as coarse or woolly or nappy. And you can see right there the history of discrimination and prejudice as applied to hair. Just really, really interesting. I would highly recommend that book, and I would highly also recommend it on audiobook. The author reads it herself, and Emma is she is Irish, but her ancestry is from Nigeria. So yeah, really, really interesting and fascinating book. I am almost finished my second book of the challenge. I will finish it probably once I'm done this video clip. I only have like 5 pages left to go. This is book 1 in the Penguin Green Ideas collection. This is No One Is Too Small to Make a Difference by Greta Thunberg. Obviously the Swedish teenage activist for climate change, and this is a collection of her speeches. And one thing that's really interesting, extra interesting about this, is the speeches go from September 2018 to March 2020. So right in the period leading up to the pandemic. So I found that really interesting to read these speeches and think about how the world has changed since she was making them. So that is book number 2. Gonna finish that tonight. And then I started at lunchtime Loveless by Alice Oseman. This is her novel, and I got this from the library, and it's due back on Thursday. So whether or not I can complete this, how many pages is this book? I don't know. It's like a lot of pages. If I can see how many pages. I don't even know if it's got page numbers. Yeah, it's got page numbers in it. It's like 400 pages. Anyway, this is about Georgia, who is just heading off to college and realizing that she, she's never kissed anyone and she's never really had a crush on anyone. So she's trying to figure out where she fits into this sort of romance obsessed world. So yeah, interesting. I read the first 38 pages at lunchtime, and you know, it's a good story so far. YA. So I'm sitting here to show you this stack here on my reading cart, my library cart, and all of these books are my TBR for my 30 and 30. So you see I had, before I started this book, 17 books left to go in my Penguin Green Ideas box set. And then these are the shortest books that I had on my physical TBR. Oh, I should also say that I have started Fieldwork in Ukrainian Sex, which is for Women in Translation Month, and I am reading that with Greta. So I'm 55 pages into that. I'm reading it on ebook. I'll put the picture up here. So that's another book that I'm trying to complete. So trying to do my 30 and 30, I'm also trying to read some Women in Translation books. I obviously have my Book Naturalist books, and whatever Buddy reads I get up to. So I've got my Mary Oliver essay collection and also poetry for Book Naturalist. I have A Nation of Women by Luisa Capetillo, which is translated by Alan West Duran, and this is a book about feminism, nonfiction. I have, I think I have another. Oh yes, I have Cockroaches by Scholastique Mukasonga, which I believe is also translated. Why is the translator not right here? Yeah, translated from the French by Jordan Stump. So I have that one to read. I feel like I have oh yes, here we go. I have Brickmakers by Silva Almada, translated from the Spanish by Annie McDermott. Getting to that. So I think that's all my translated stuff that I had on my TBR. I have King Lear by William Shakespeare. That's pretty short. Just the rest of this is mostly fiction. I do have a middle grade graphic novel to, you know, sneak in there somewhere. So yeah, lots of short books that I'm hoping to get to. I think this would actually, if I read all of these, would get me my 30 and 30, but I do have audiobooks saved to listen to that I want to get through, and I have some ebooks as well on my in my ebook library that I would like to get to. So that's some of the stuff that I'm going to be working on, and like I said, I'm going to vlog each book as I finish it so that I can just keep it going and let you know as I finish things how I'm getting on. So that's what we're going to do in the month of August. Wish me luck. It is August 3rd, and I have finished 3 more books for my 30 and 30 challenge. So I did end up finishing No One Is Too Small to Make a Difference by Greta Thunberg, who is, of course, the young lady, Swedish teenager who has been speaking out on behalf of the climate and trying to get governments around the world to wake up and make the changes necessary to combat climate change. I will say this is a collection of her speeches from 2018 till the beginning of the pandemic in early 2020. And because it's a collection of speeches, obviously there are certain phrases or sentences that get repeated a lot. So it does get a little bit repetitive if you read the speeches back to back. But I very much appreciate Greta's willingness to speak truth to power and to stand up for what she believes is right and to speak forcefully and honestly about what is happening and to call out the things that need to be changed. So excellent for just being a wake-up call. So very much appreciate this book for that. So that was book number 2 for 30 and 30. Then book number 3 is the audio book that I finished today while I had to drive for work. And that is 10 Days in a Madhouse by Nellie Bly. This is a short audiobook. It's only like 2.5 hours long. I think the book itself is less than 100 pages. And this is basically reportage, it's investigative reporting that was written by Nellie Bly in the late 1800s, in which she gets herself committed to an insane asylum in order to report on the conditions that are existing in that place. So this takes place in New York, like I said, in like 1885 or 86. She feigns mental illness in order to be committed. And believe me, it was quite easy for her to do so. And that is one of the things that I thought was so intriguing and so enraging about this very well done investigative journalism piece, is that basically because she was a woman and because she was thought to be poor, and she was also thought to be an immigrant, it was like basically she just had to say a few crazy things and be poor. And she was instantly committed to this insane asylum, Blackwell's Island. And while she was in that place, she was able to observe and document the heinous conditions under which people were kept. Many of the women that were in this facility were not insane. They did not show any signs of mental illness. And it was only because either a family member had committed them, or they were didn't speak English because they were an immigrant, or they were just a poor woman. They were held against their will in these places, and nobody would listen to them, even when they were very clearly speaking, very, sane things. Like nobody would hear them. So yeah, that was really, really excellent. And I wanted to read this because I think I heard Scott and Nell at Gunpowder Fiction and Plot talk about this last year, and I had put it on my Scribd reading list. And so I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to do that this year. So I'm really glad that I listened to that. It's really excellent on audiobook too. It was the free audiobook recording. I think it's LibriVox, where just a regular person reads it, but the narrator was really good. So I thought that was very worthwhile, and I'm glad that I have finally read it. And then just this afternoon, I finished this library book, Loveless by Alice Oseman. I really love her graphic novel series, Heartstopper, which I just devoured last year, or early this year, I guess. And this is her novel. This is a full-length novel. It's about 400 pages long. And the characters are a bit older in this than they were in Heartstopper. They're first-year college age. And it's all about our main character, Georgia, who is trying to fall in love, basically. She has never been kissed. She has never had sex. And she is determined that in her first year of college, she's going to change all that. And so it's about her adventures trying to figure her love life out. And I shouldn't just say love life. She is discovering aspects of her sexuality during her first year of college. And she has these two really amazing best friends, and she has a new roommate, and she is trying to navigate being a college freshman. So yeah, I thought that the discovering your sexuality aspect of this book was really great. And I'm super glad that this book exists out there in the world for young people and for people of all ages to really learn about the spectrum of identities that are out there, and that there is no right or wrong way to exist in the world. And I love that message. The things that I did not like about this book is, A, I think it's too long. I think it could have easily been much shorter. And B, there are some just weird things that are described in this book. And I don't know if it's just because I'm American and this book takes place, the author is British and the book takes place in Britain, in a college town in Great Britain. I guess this Durham College, I can't remember if it's Durham or Dunham, is a real actual college. And there's a particular activity called college marriage described in this book. And I just think it's incredibly strange, and I've never ever heard of such a thing. And Greg from Supposedly Fun and I had a long conversation about this college marriage idea. And so please, if any of you out there know whether or not this thing actually exists in the world in reality, please do let me know, because I just think it's like, why? If it is a real thing, I think it's weird. But if it's not a real thing, why? What? I just think it's weird. So if you've read this book, or if you know anything about such a concept as college marriage, please do leave a comment down below. I would really be interested to find out. So yeah, that's book number 4 already for the 30 and 30 challenge. I am still reading Fieldwork in Ukrainian Sex on ebook. I am reading my next little Penguin Green Ideas book. This is Hot Money by Naomi Kline. This is excerpts from her book, This Changes Everything, which I had read some years ago, but it's been quite a while. And so I'm actually really enjoying this because I loved This Changes Everything by Naomi Kline. And so I'm really pleased to have this refresher from the ideas that she talks about in that book, which is basically how capitalism is destroying our planet and creating climate change issues that we're never going to be able to get over if we can't like somehow change how we do the economy, which I think is a great message. And then I started on audiobook today, The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan. I had this hard copy on my TBR, but I'm going to listen to it on audiobook. So yeah, that's what I'm up to. So 4 books down already for 30 and 30, and I'm feeling good about things. May 4th, and I've finished book number 5. This is Hot Money by Naomi Kline. Naomi Kline is quite famous as a writer of, writing about climate change and how basically a capitalist economy has destroyed the environment and how we need to change things dramatically in order to save the planet. The pieces in here are excerpts from her book, This Changes Everything, which I really, really enjoyed. So I very much enjoyed revisiting those sections of the book in this little slim volume from the Penguin Green Ideas series. So book number 5 in the books. And I think what I will do is I will stop this vlog here and I will start a new vlog for the next 5 books. So I hope you're all doing well and finding some great books to read, and I will talk to you later.